Now, technical analysis alone has never produced any profitable trader. And this is the truth that so many people actually don't know. Now, for you to get a perfect entry, you need to have three dimensions of analysis. The first one is the technical approach, or basically what we call what is your technical point of interest or your reason basically for entering that particular trade, right? Now, the second way of analyzing the market for you to get a perfect entry is looking at the sentiment. And in the sentiment, basically we look at what we call the speculative sentiment index. And we want to know how many people are taking what particular position, because most of the time, based on the SSI, the market will probably react to the opposite of the majority who are retail traders in this particular case. Now, if you want to get a perfect now entry, you need to combine technical analysis, fundamental analysis, and basically now what we call the sentimental analysis for you to get a perfect entry. So today we are basically exploring how to navigate one of the most important website in the journey of a forex trader. And by the way, this is the Insight Empire, your number one source of forex trading insights. So without further ado, let's dive and look at this particular website. Now, when you come to this particular website, it's called the Forex Factory. It's actually a very free platform to search. We just need to come here and search forexfactory.com, forexfactory.com. All right, forexfactory.com, very free website. So when you search this particular website, as you can see, it will print with this particular all this information, which some you might not know what it means, and you might not also be interested, because what you want to know is what specific time do we have high economic data being released in the financial markets, and this particular data, so that you can be able to know how to react to the market based on this particular data. So what do you know? As I keep on telling you guys, it's about being consistent in one specific asset. So you don't want to be a scattered person. All right, it's okay to know everything about something and something about everything. But most importantly, sticking to one specific asset is likely to increase your chances of being more profitable, because as you all know that if you get scattered, you do not have a niche, because we say that a king without a territory is basically a tourist. Anyway, now diving into this particular website, what you need to do is the first thing is you want to apply a filter that is going to filter all this irrelevant information and only remain for you with the most vital information that you need to navigate this particular market. So what do? You come here and click on calendar, right? A very important step. And then you click on the calendar, you click on filter. There is a kaboom top here on the top left. Then you click on it like that. And basically you're going to find that your forex chart looks like this. It will also be having a lot of things all over here. You see all this data. You don't need all this data, because you need to be very precise on what basically you want to achieve. So what do? You come and click on filter, and then you unfilter all this, you uncheck all this, and remain with only asset that you're interested. For me, for my case, I don't know about you, I prefer always to trade major currencies and major pairs, and these are all the pairs that are basically paired with the United States dollar. So I don't want to give a down on what is happening to the Japanese GBP. I don't want to care about the Japanese yen. I want to care very little about the New Zealand dollar, and I want to give all my attention and focus to the United States dollar. And this is because it is the one that is going to control how my favorite asset, which is called, basically behaves. So what I want to do is I want to come here and check also what the expected impact, or what is the level of impact which is basically expected from each and every currency. So when you come and check here, you will find that we have this particular silver color, and this one simplifies that particular days we are likely to have what we call the bank holiday for that specific asset. And bank holiday is basically very vital. And the reason we want to know when we have a bank holiday is so that you don't engage, because during the bank holidays, the market is quite very, very slow and not volatile as such. So you want to, just leave it like that so that you can be able to know that this particular asset is not likely to be moving today, and that particular time you can go and have fun, do other things, and probably come the following day for trading when we do not have the bank holiday, or the day when we are likely to have a market moving at least in a very significant way. All right. So the other one that follows is this yellow bar, and this yellow bar signifies that this particular market has a very low volatility. So you want to also uncheck that particular yellow bar, because it signifies very little impact based on that particular data. And then we have this one which shows medium impact, is I don't know whether orange. Men are not very good with colors, but this looks like orange. So the orange one also implies that we have very little or to medium impact. And Joe, you also don't want that. You are only interested with the high impact news. And that is exactly why we're going to have it, this only red bar, which shows you the data which is quite high impact, and then you check this one out like that. So as you can see, when I do that, it is only now bringing me specific date, specific time for a specific currency pair which has a high impact data being released on, and probably gives me to see what kind of a data am I having. Do we have speeches? We have basically types of data. We have data that prints are giving us a specific values, and we also have data which is conveyed in terms of messages, and this is why you have to listen specifically to this particular speeches. Like when we have the Fed chair Powell testifies. The Powell is the current chairperson of the Federal Open Market Committee, one of the most important committees in the US that advises the governments in terms of monetary policy, funds rate and all that. And also you want to know when we have President Trump speaking, for example, those are called political news. When we have President Trump speaking, you also want to listen and know what is going to happen. So during that particular data, during that particular time, there is no specific data that is going to print over here, because come on, it's just a speech. But when we have speech data which is printing over here, you are likely to know when it's positive, it always prints here with a green bar, and when the data is negative or lesser than what is expected, most of the time it will print over here with a red bar. And knowing this is one of the most important things that you don't want to engage in. Why? Because anytime we have a data printing in the financial markets, what happens is professionally you do not want to engage during that specific time of the data. Why? Because during that time when the data is printing, everything is designed to work basically against you. Number one, why you don't want to trade in news, the first reason is that during that particular time, the broker is likely to widen the spreads 2 times or 3 times. You will discover that some spreads are even going all the way to 3 per pip, like 0.3 per pip, 1.3 per pip, 1.8 per pip. These brokers widen the spread specifically to protect themselves from some of you guys who are going in full margin with the $10,000 and risking it, or they might make a lot of money and become a liability to the broker. Now, this happens basically because during this particular data, when it's being printed, the market can move quite aggressively. Just imagine one minute candle moving, making over 150 pips, just one candlestick, right? And you don't want to engage because during that particular time, the spreads are quite wide. And the second reason why you don't want to engage is basically because you are underprivileged. And let me explain. You are underprivileged because the data that it prints in a Forex Factory prints at the exact time when it is listed, but the impact of the news is felt 15 seconds or 10 seconds prior. So for example, if we have NFP being released at exactly 3:30, what happens is at 3:30, 15 seconds to the exact 3:30, that particular spike has already moved. So by the time you wait to see what is printing here, whether it's green or red, and get into it, you are already entering at a pullback. And this is because we have guys or either as insider or pre-pledged information, or we have high frequency traders who are basically engaging the market with some huge crazy volumes of money, which are likely to push the volume of the market prior before you enter there with your 100 or even $250 regretfully. So yeah, so the essence of this particular video was just to guide you through how to navigate the Forex Factory, which I believe is one of the most important websites that you need as a Forex trader in your journey of doing analysis as a Forex trader. So see you in the next video. For this one, it's a goodbye from this side.